आराम से।
Okay, so we have the entire team. So eat, sleep, drink cricket में स्वागत है। पहले स्वागत होगा अभिजीत का, क्योंकि वो है बड़ौदा में। वो इस वक्त अपने शहर में नहीं है, शहर के बाहर है और वहां से आ रहे हैं, होटल रूम से कर रहे हैं, तो एक थम्स अप उनके लिए बनता है। दूसरा नागालैंड से आए हुए मिस्टर भास्कर सूर्य नारायण का। हो सकता है आज आज है कहाँ आप, मतलब आर यू इन योर होम टाउन और?
मैं फिलहाल बेंगलुरु में हूँ मैं।
अच्छा, बैंकॉक
तो
सुनाई दिया मुझे।
स्टिल नॉट इन गोवा
हाँ,
बट
मेरे को भी बैंक, ये बैंग बैंग बोलते हो
मुझे
मेरे को बैंकॉक सुनाई
बैंग
देता
बैंग बोल के बैंग बैंग बोला, दो बार बोला आपने। और अमृतसर तो खैर आई नो ही इज इन द सिटी। सो चलो,
वेरी
सबका
मच सो।
सबका सबका स्वागत है। और सबका साथ सबका विश्वास, वो जो भी है करेंगे आज। खैर ठीक है, सो थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग इन एंड हमारे पास मुद्दा एक ही है, वो मुद्दे के कई कड़ी हैं। सो मुद्दा एक ही है कि मेलबर्न टेस्ट जीत रहे हैं नहीं जीत रहे हैं, बॉर्डर गावस्कर ट्रॉफी। तो so what we want to do is, because we are four of us, we try to keep topics थोड़ा सा डिस्ट्रीब्यूट करके बात करेंगे, ताकि वी डोंट हैव एनी इश्यूज ऑन कौन कितना बात कर पाएगा करके, क्योंकि काफी कुछ है उसमें। तो मैं अमित, आप पहले ज्वाइन किए, तो पहला आपको हक देता हूँ कि आप स्टार्ट करें मेलबर्न टेस्ट के बारे में। सो मेलबर्न वुड बी फोर्थ टेस्ट, बॉक्सिंग डे टेस्ट, बहुत ही यादगार चीज़ है। So what I want you to do is emphasize on a couple of things what you like about Boxing Day Test, हम सबकी यादें जुड़ी हुई है। और इस टेस्ट, ये जो प्रीव्यू है इंडिया वर्सेस ऑस्ट्रेलिया, उसको कैसे देखते हैं? ओवर टू यू।
Okay, thanks, Rajiv. So like I say, Boxing Day is very special, and I think, agar if you ask me, we are going into the Boxing Day with a lot of confidence because हमने पिछले दो, I think if I remember it right, 2018 or 2020 में या 2021 में हमने, I think we have won both the tests, as we walk into this MCG. So that itself is a very kind of a confidence booster for us. And the other thing why I'm excited about the Boxing Day test is because uh, typically MCG, अगर आप देखेंगे हिस्ट्री भी MCG की, तो there is a very good fight between the bat and ball here. So historically, if you look at the matches and even if you see the way the pitches play here, you will always see a good opportunity for both the batsman and bowler. So initially, on the first couple of days, you're going to see the ball, kind of seaming. You will see a little bit of a hell for spinners as they come in. And if a batsman is willing to spend time in the middle, you will see him getting runs. So, मेरे लिए, I think MCG always comes to me as a place where it's a good contest, even contest. And the other reason why I'm excited about MCG is, especially this match, particularly, is because we have a point to prove. And, for some reason, I don't know what the others on the call feel, but I somehow feel that the whole energy level and the mindset that we are carrying in 2024 is so different from what I grew up with, in the 90s or, I would be shit scared, right now sitting at the MCG at this hour in 90, just hoping that somehow we battle and try and save and that kind of a feeling. But in spite of me probably missing out on that ping ball test, etc., there is still that feeling inside that these guys are going to come and fight out. And I had said this the other day on the message to you also. I won't be surprised if Kohli or Rohit, one of them gets a ton here. So that's my submission on MCG, and happy to chime in later in case you want more inputs from me.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much. Yeah, you're right. One of the thing which you mentioned is about the confidence level, कि पहले क्या होता था हमारा, कि हम कितना सोचते थे, डरते थे। और आज एक कोलोजियम वाला स्टेडियम है, उसमें वी गो हेड। तो मैं आता हूँ भास्कर के पास, हुज ऑलवेज इचिंग इन टू पिच इन वेरी क्विकली। तो एक तो चीज मैं आपको, मतलब वन ऑफ द थिंग विच एवरीबडी इज टॉकिंग अबाउट इज कि इंडिया का बैटिंग है वही चीज, दैट इफ दैट फायर्स देन वी आर डन एंड डस्टेड कर, मतलब इट्स लाइक द डील इज पैक्ड इफ वी गेट द बैटिंग सॉर्टेड करके। बट आई डोंट थिंक इट्स सो इजी ऑल्सो, मतलब उतना भी आसान नहीं होगा करके। ऑल्सो वाइल टीम, ये मतलब अभी सडनली जो गाबा वाला टेस्ट है, ऐसा लग रहा है काफी दिन हो गए उसको होके, दिस इज अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम विच इज बीन देयर। इस पे अभी क्या है, सारा पूरा का पूरा अश्विन का जो रिटायरमेंट और वो जो है वो ले लिया है, मतलब दैट्स द न्यूज विच इज गोइंग ऑन एंड ऑल। एंड देयर इज सम स्मॉल न्यूज अबाउट चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी। लास्ट में मैं फिर अमित सर को छेड़ूंगा उस बात पे, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी पे। बट these are the things which is going the round. So I, again, the question remains the same, but maybe you want to answer it differently, is what is your favorite memory of the Boxing Day test? And what do you think is your 2 cents on the how you think India is preparing? How do you think it's coming up? What are your thoughts on it?
I think my favorite memory of the Boxing Day test is, of course, till now is probably the Rahane 100, and 100 which Sachin Tendulkar scored in 99, 2000. It was one of the best hundreds I've seen. India lost the game, and incidentally, that happened to be the test debut for Amit's cousin, Mr. Rishikesh Kanetkar. That's when he made his test debut in the Boxing Day test in 99, 2000. And that Sachin knock probably is one of the best knocks, because that was one knock you could see Sachin was still streets ahead of the other two, like upcoming greats like Tendulkar, Dravid, and uh, Ganguly, and Lakshman was still in the fringes. So I think that was one of the best knocks I've seen. Coming to like day after tomorrow's Boxing Day, I think the toss is going to be crucial. Win the toss, bat first, and score big. That's how India needs to go. Rajiv.
My God, that was pretty small. मैं तो थोड़ा लंबा सोच रहा था. But anyways, thank you for bringing up Sachin's 100 in Melbourne in 99. I've seen that test. India lost, but they were in the match. Sachin did everything to win that match, but I mean, obviously, he was playing against a whole 11. And also, incidentally, he was the man of the match for it. Though Bretley picked up 5 wickets in one of the innings. So, still, he was the man of the match. I think it was just the technical ability of Tendulkar which made the. I think those days broadcasters were giving the award. Not really sure, or the team of commentators or somebody was nominating. So they nominated Sachin. So I am now coming to Avijit. Avijit has a lot of inputs about this test match. So I'm just putting this question to you: is so the last 35 overs at Gaba, India incidentally just pushed Australia to the wall, right? The last 35 overs, or so like one session you can say. And then suddenly the वक्त बदल गया, वो सब हो गया ना, मतलब इंडिया suddenly is on the rise. So does that momentum help? I mean, that momentum, would that help? Because there's
Uh,
some time which has gone past. And second, my question is batting. How do you think? What do you think is the batting thing which is coming up? I mean, आप इसको कैसे देखते हैं? Because टीम कॉम्बिनेशन पे मैं आऊंगा, बट आप बैटिंग की ही बात कीजिए. एंड obviously I want you to give one memory for us. I mean, one memory, Boxing Day memory. आप ही बताएं.
So actually, MCG was never a favorite hunting ground for India. And we used to lose matches there very often. And I was heartbroken the day on the day one of a test match in 2002 or no, 2003 when Sehwag scored 195 and gets out, but India suddenly lose a bunch of wickets. I think India ended the day some from 270 for one, say some 290 for four or something like that. हो गया था. And they were all out by some 360 odd ऐसे ही कुछ था. I mean, it was a rubbish performance by the Indian team after Sehwag. And then we lost that match very tamely. But for a long time in the test match in the first day, Sehwag and Dravid were absolutely bossing. In fact, उस वक्त तो मुझे लग रहा था that was bang after the Adelaide test. मुझे लग रहा था कि बस एक आध करियर आज खत्म हो रहा है, ब्रेटली का खत्म हो रहा है, एंडी बिकल का खत्म हो रहा है, मुझे लग रहा था वैसा. So Melbourne was very painful for us. Although overall, in the balance of things, Sydney has been the most painful venue for us over the decades in cricket as well as in hockey. For all the near wins and all the bad losses which we had there. But so some time ago, Amit was saying that at the start of the program that I used to be shit scared in 1990s. Honestly, after we was 0-3 down to New Zealand, I was shit scared too. And I thought I got that same feeling of Sadagopan Ramesh and Devang Gandhi going out to open in Australia this series. Although I had a brave face and I said, no, boss, India will do well. But the problem is same. Why I was scared now is the first inning score. Why we lost 0-3 is the first inning score. It is the first inning score where we are falling behind. First innings, wherever you bat, whichever country, you have to score 275, 300. And, I really, I felt bad at the decision Rohit took last time where they decided to bat second. As I said in my previous podcast, just reverse the score. Had India scored that same 260, जो उन्होंने 260 अंडर प्रेशर बनाया सेकंड इनिंग्स में, ये फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में अगर 260 बनाते, ये मैच बहुत इवन होता. एंड राजीव, you said no कि इंडिया जो लास्ट 35 ओवर्स में ऑफ दैट टेस्ट मैच, गाबा टेस्ट मैच, आर इंडिया बैक? डेफिनेटली इंडिया आर बैक. बस इंडिया विल ऑल्सो फील बस उनका बैटिंग भी हमारे बैटिंग से गया गुजरा है. दैट इज द एग्जैक्ट फीलिंग दे विल हैव. All we need is to put a first inning score. If we bat well in the first innings, see who won the Perth test? The team which got a 50 runs first innings lead. Who won the second test? The team which got, I think, 80 90 जितना भी first innings lead ऑस्ट्रेलिया ने लिया था वही लिया था. It is that first innings lead which, वैसे तो देखो तो पर्थ में तो सिर्फ 50 रन का फर्स्ट इनिंग्स लीड लिया था. वी शुड नॉट हैव, वी कुड हैव स्टिल लॉस्ट दैट टेस्ट मैच. नहीं, that first innings, after scoring 150, you got a 40 runs lead. That is the state of Australia batting. We just need 275, 300. If we put that, we have the bowling attack. I don't care which set of bowlers play. Harshit Rana plays tomorrow instead of Nitish Reddy, Sundar plays. We do have the bowling attack to put pressure on them. Their batting, they got in an opener in 3 matches. They have removed that opener. Their team is also going through, they don't have Hazelwood. So they are 2.5 bowlers now. Boland's figures are not as impressive. पहली बात तो ऑस्ट्रेलियन बॉलर्स के फिगर्स इन ऑल ऑस्ट्रेलियन पिचेस लुक वेरी इंप्रेसिव बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दे आर प्लेइंग मिनोज बेसिकली, इंक्लूडिंग इंग्लैंड. दे प्ले इंग्लैंड, बीट देम 3-0, 4-0. तो मिनो टाइप के होते हैं तो इनके फिगर्स बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं. बट इफ यू लुक क्लोजली, देयर फिगर्स, लाइक बोलैंड डिड वेल इन द पिंक बॉल टेस्ट, but he struggled in the warm-up game. He struggled in the PM11 game. He got 1 wicket over the 3 innings out there. So, India have a solid chance. India just needs to bat first and score 275, or bat second and score 270. Australia 325 भी बनाया, India 275 बनाया. The match will be very different. Rajiv.
Well put, well put. Yeah, and I'm very happy that you got Devang Devang Gandhi and Sadagopan Ramesh into the discussion. उस दिन तो बहुत लंबा मेरा और भास्कर का खींच गया वो WhatsApp पे. But anyways, मेरा खुद का फेवरेट मेमोरी is that one ball what Bumrah bowled just before T2 Sean Marsh. उसने दिखाया कि एक फास्ट बॉलर क्या कर सकता है. स्लोअर डिलीवरी, वेल डिस्गाइज्ड, एंड ऐसा लूप होके शॉन मार्श के ऊपर आया एंड ही जस्ट कुडंट अंडरस्टैंड वेयर इट केम फ्रॉम. वहां से उसने साफ कर दिया, पूरे ऑस्ट्रेलियन इनिंग्स को साफ कर दिया. एंड देन अभिजीत, आपने तो देखा है वो सीरीज प्राइम में द टेस्ट करके, जहाँ पे जस्टिन लैंगर कहता है कि बंदा आया पुजारा और बस टुक 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 ब्लंट कर दिया उसने बॉल को. एंड दे डिडंट स्कोर मच. दे स्कोर 230 ऑन द फर्स्ट डे एंड देन they scored 300 odd or 400 very towards the end of the day on the second day. वहां से जीते ये लोग. So that's one of my favorite memories. And Melbourne now तो has become very very homely because जो T20 का रिजल्ट आया जहाँ पे कोहली ने वो मारा, then some of the one dayers we have won in Australia. So Melbourne is now a very known this thing. उसी टेस्ट मैच में हम ये भी देखते हैं कि मयंक अग्रवाल had a fantastic debut. आया, उसने बोला भी था कि मैं सडनली डर गया, मेरे सामने 80,000 people are there and what do I do, but that gave me energy and I did very well करके. So lot of memories I think. I concur with what you say. बैटिंग कर लो यार, तो वही है मेन. तो उसी इसके साथ मैं अमित आपके पास आता हूँ कि one of the thing is batting. So there are two things I want to do, you to do. एक तो आपका लाइनअप क्या रहेगा, इंडिया का लाइनअप आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं, किसे ड्रॉप करते हैं, किसको बिठाते हैं, मतलब व्हाट डू यू सी. देयर इज आल्सो अ न्यू एडिशन कॉल्ड तनुष कोटियान इन दिस मैच. सो दे हैव गॉट द रिप्लेसमेंट फॉर अश्विन, नोइंग वेरी वेल कि, तो पता नहीं मतलब व्हाट वाज द थॉट बिहाइंड इट, बट लेके आए हैं उसको, लेके आ रहे हैं उसको. एंड देन द अदर थिंग व्हिच वी नो, शमी इज नॉट गोइंग टू प्ले दिस सीरीज इन ऑस्ट्रेलिया. सो आप कैसे, व्हाट डू यू सी योर लाइनअप क्या
तो
है आपका?
देखो, बिफोर आई गो टू द लाइनअप, देखो एक चीज और मैं बोलना चाहता हूँ यहाँ पे कि देखो, एमसीजी की पिच जो है वो ठीक है. आई थिंक इट्स गोइंग टू एड स्पिनर्स आल्सो आफ्टर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, एंड बट इट इज स्टिल अ सीमर, इट्स अ सीमर विकेट. It's still going to be a seam friendly. So I strongly feel that देखो जडेजा को तो मैं स्पिनर गिनता ही नहीं हूँ पूरी तरह से, वो तो मेरे हिसाब से मीडियम पेसर ही है एक हिसाब से. So if you ask my lineup, I would still go with Rohit and Yashasvi opening the innings this time. I think Rohit probably, I don't know. want him to open, but I don't know whether he'll open. मुझे नहीं पता, वो अभी भी अगर 5-6 पे आना चाहता है तो अलग बात है, पर मुझे लगता है कि अब now the time has come कि let him just kind of hold the bull by the horn and just come and open it. Let's see. I can't predict on that. But my lineup is Rohit, Yashasvi, Gill should play. I think Gill is due for a inning, so I'm just waiting for him. Kohli, of course. Uh, for me, Rahul still stays along with Pant. Washington comes in, although I would have loved to have Nitish Rana, play in this. Nitish Reddy to play
Reddy,
in
Reddy.
this test. Yeah, Reddy. But I assume that Washi is going to play the match. Uh, I would go with Akashdeep, Jasprit, Bumrah, and Siraj. That's my lineup. Because, like I said, it's still a seam-friendly wicket. Although they are coming in with Nathan Lyon, who probably, if my memory serves right, he's the highest wicket taker amongst the current set of all the 22 players put together on the pitch. He's one of those rare exceptions with Shane Warne, who holds a interesting stat of picking up a lot of wickets at MCG. Otherwise, if you look at the MCG lineup, mostly you will see the seamers doing brilliantly well there in the entire list. But he is going to be one of the guys that I would be watching for. But that's my lineup. And if I understand it correctly, Constas should open. It looks like he's a brilliant guy. I think I like him. He's done well in the Sheffield, and I think he's kind of picking up a lot of runs. I think he'll open with Usman Khawaja. That's my take. Remains to be seen what happens. And I don't know about the Travis Head injury, but it seems to me that he's okay. I mean, he's got few niggles, etc. But I think he's going to play because I think my take is, given the current scenario, he's one of those bogey guys for India, and Australia would want to make sure that he's there because just by the sheer presence of his, even if he's 80% fit, he obviously brings that psychological pressure onto India. And that is why I believe that if with a 80% Travis said also he should be in. So that's my overall, Rajiv.
Okay. So you're playing three fast bowlers and two spinners, so which takes care of the batting bit of very well. So ठीक है, मतलब आपका लाइनअप ठीक है, मतलब fair enough. भास्कर, मैं आपके पास
हाँ
आता
मतलब
हूँ.
that's
भास्कर, आपके पास आता हूँ. आप क्या सोचते हैं?
Personally, I would have gone with the same team. तो थोड़ा continuity होना चाहिए. I mean, the team is on an upswing and थोड़ा सा team is in form. I would go with the same team that played Gabba. Like too much of chopping and changing is never good, and that's history says that great teams have always played the same team again and again, and they make changes only when there's an injury or somebody who has to miss out or some major change in the pitch. So I think we need to get our act together, and we know what our top 11 is, and we need to play them a bit more consistently and not all the time keep thinking who's going to be the last replacing player, the one player we're going to replace. So I would personally play the same team that played Gabba. Nitish Reddy, actually, I think MCG, I don't see Washington Sundar or Jadeja picking too many wickets. So I think Nitish Reddy could be a handful, and I think he's in like he's high on confidence. So I think, and Melbourne is slightly an easier pitch to bat on as compared to Gabba. So I think if India bat first with Nitish Reddy also scoring a 50-60, I think we can really put a very big total on board. And if we do that, I think there's only one team winning from there. So I think we need to look at that. I think Nitish Reddy is in good form. He's high on confidence. I think it's a good time to play him. Continue playing him. Rajiv.
Okay. So there's only one question I have. While you play Nitish Reddy, which is fine, the problem is Nitish Reddy hasn't bowled so many overs. And when you don't bowl so many overs, and if I'm keeping this in mind that Jadeja is the first spinner who's going to play. Whatever happens, he's going to be the first pick. If both of them don't bowl so many overs, then the pressure goes back to the three fast bowlers here, and there is nobody who can keep bowling and keep on coming back on you. One of the advantages at Adelaide was Ashwin bowled a lot of overs. He bowled 22 overs. Out of those 100 odd overs, which is that 22 overs, एक बॉलर ने एटलीस्ट स्पिन ने वहां पे किया. गैबा में वैसा नहीं था. फर्स्ट इनिंग्स में ये लोग थक गए थे, genuinely थक गए थे, and then it had to be Bumrah who had to pick himself up and then get all those wickets. So that's because you expect in Melbourne that the first innings will go to 100 overs, if not more. 100 ओवर जाएगा तो वो एक है. But I'm in agreement with you that if you play the same team, it's far better because Nitish Reddy is batting well. That's something which we can't take away from him. So वो एक बड़ी चीज हो जाती है. So I don't know, so I'm putting this question now to Avijit. So एक चीज जो अभी मतलब क्यूरेटर ने बोला है, एंड आई एम ऑल्सो ब्रिंगिंग इन अ कपल ऑफ अदर थिंग्स ऑल्सो, कि ऑस्ट्रेलियन मीडिया जो उनका 12th मैन है स्टार्ट हो गया मतलब उनको. एंड व्हेन द ऑस्ट्रेलियन मीडिया याप्स अ लॉट, इट मीन्स कि वो प्रेशर में है, भयंकर प्रेशर में है. तो उन्होंने तीन चार चीजें बोला. एक, रविंद्र जडेजा के पीछे पड़ गए कि वो हिंदी में क्यों बोल रहा है करके, नॉनसेंसिकल. सेकंड, उन्होंने अभी अभी आई थिंक कल या परसों कुछ बात की है कि बुमराह का एक्शन कुछ तो है, काफी लोग उस पर बात कर रहे हैं करके. देन दे ऑल्सो मेंशन अबाउट, उन्होंने अश्विन का जो रिटायरमेंट का चीज़ है काफ़ी उछालने की कोशिश किया उन्होंने, इधर सम पॉलिटिक्स एंड ऑल दो स्टफ. तो उन्होंने भी काफ़ी कुछ उछालने की कोशिश किया, एंड दे विल डेफिनेटली ट्राई टू गेट हिम फॉर एन इंटरव्यू और वट एवर इट इज. I don't expect India to react to all these things because these guys understand that. But the point here is that Australia might like to leave a bit of grass, right? क्योंकि उनको पता है कि गैबा में चला था तो वो शायद ये करें. तो आप कैसे देखते हैं मतलब, सो विच मीन दैट स्पिनर खिलाना मतलब मे बी काउंटर प्रोडक्टिव, नहीं खिलाना चाहिए एक्चुअली, सीमर को ही खिलाना चाहिए. इट मे बी,
So,
इट मे नॉट बी वेरी लाइक टू लाइक पिच लाइक ब्रिस्बेन, बट मे बी बट सिमिलर.
So, you actually raised a good point that in the last match, Gaba, mein, hamara bowling attack was three pacers plus 0.25 Nitish Reddy, and Jadeja as a spinner overseas in Gaba was another 0.25. So I saw it as 3.5 bowlers. And you are absolutely bang on. Those three bowlers they started tiring. We definitely need at least four bowlers on the pitch. पांचों को मिला के four bowlers level तो आना ही चाहिए, else it will work. And we know, especially with a guy like Siraj, a workhorse. Siraj can bowl forever. But with Bumrah, we have to do his workload management. Without Bumrah, we are nowhere, in this series. So Nitish Reddy, somebody said that Nitish Reddy has batted very well. He's not batted very well. He was our highest scorer in first innings in Perth. He was our highest scorer in first innings in Adelaide. So Nitish Reddy is our go-to man. Without Nitish Reddy, we are nowhere in this series. So Nitish Reddy definitely will play. So with that brings the question: if Jadeja plays, Nitish Reddy plays, are we going in again with a weekend bowling attack, especially in an MCG pitch where it is expected to aid the batsman a bit? So I don't really know what the team management would. Of course, continuity is what is desired. Although personally, this would not have been my 11, considering Rohit and Virat can only bat, when they come after a score of 200. If Rohit and Virat come, I mean, Virat came the other day at 70 for 2 in Adelaide. He was he was a walking wicket there. He only batted well the day he came at 270 for 2 at Perth. That day he batted well, Virat. Huh? Other day he didn't. And we saw the halat of Virat and Rohit in this New Zealand series at home also. So, of course, my team would have been different, but it is what it is. It will be for continuity. I'll be for continuity. Maybe there will be one change. Again, Gambhir puts up these surprise changes, but each of his surprise changes are magic. Washington Sundar, pulled out of nowhere, is the best player for India in the New Zealand series. He picks up Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana takes care of Travis Head in the first match. Every match he picks up Akashdeep when there's a debate. He picks up Jadeja when there's a debate. But Ashwin ko kaise beta? Jadeja and Akashdeep are the biggest heroes of the previous match. So whosoever wild card uthata hai, so I'll trust the team management on that one. On the Australian media thing, it is aaj ki baat nahi hai, ye hamesha ki baat hai. Whenever they are panicking, you have these things. It actually, I feel foolish saying this thing, but this is what Australia are. They have commented on Nagma. They have commented on Anushka Sharma. They have commented on Deepika Padukone over the last 3 decades. Whenever they are in a soup, last tour they actually charged the Indian team of breaching COVID protocols. जहाँ if you see the series बंदे हैं मैडम, ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं था. Forget the DRS VRS वजह ऊपर नीचे हो रहा तो दिख रही ना, bouncy pitch, the ball is actually not bouncing when when an Indian batsman का LBW appeal हो रहा, but the ball is bouncing a lot जब Australian batsman का LBW appeal हो रहा. All that though is there. So when Australia, and I knew this action thing will definitely come up of some bowler. I didn't know Bumrah का आएगा, किसी ना किसी का आएगा. It is their old tricks. They are always up for it. And this is where I feel Gavaskar knows these things. So Gavaskar also picks up his own ones. He said, why did Hazelwood say after the first test, the batsman will know the target, that zarur koi problem hoga camp. So Gavaskar is our reply for this sort of stuff out there. But yeah, this is there. I don't think Indian team will, but I think Indian team should stop thinking anything apart from हमें first innings में run बनाना है. As Amit said, Gill is due for runs. I'm really hopeful Gill does well. I will take him in my dream 11 team. He batted well in 2020 in both the innings he batted there. Because if Gill and Jaiswal batter, Jaiswal has become a walking wicket in the first innings, by the way. Because of his 160, we forget his other scores. In first innings, I think 3 innings combined, he's lasted some 10 balls or something. 3 innings combined. So if Jaiswal and Gill click, we are winning that test match. Because of Virat, Rohit, they all will score out. But if these two fail, and KL of course is clicking, then we are in a big trouble again. Rajiv.
Right.
So
No,
Rajiv, just about the pitch. Rajiv, just one thing about the pitch. I think I was, looking at the conversation on one of the Australian media channels, and the curator there has very clearly said that they are going to leave a bit of grass because they MCG. He said it very clearly that we were known for flat pitches on MCG in previous matches, and we don't want to go in with that. So that is why I was saying that we can expect a seamer friendly wicket in the beginning, which probably might help you to make your 11 as you predict. Rajiv.
नहीं, मैं आप ही के पास आ रहा था कि आई वाज अबाउट टू आस्क यू कि आपके सोर्सेस क्या बोल रहे हैं कि ये हाउ 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 इज गंभीर और व्हाट आर दे थिंकिंग, आर दे गोइंग टू, सो अभिजीत इज पॉइंटिंग आउट दैट दे मे पिक अनदर हैट आउट ऑफ द दिस थिंग, मतलब जैसे वॉशिंगटन को लेके आए या सडनली जैसे जडेजा को
हाँ
खिलाया।
तो
कुछ आपके पास कोई न्यूज़ है?
सो
व्हाई डिड
तो
तनुष गो?
मेरे को जो मैंने नो सो देखो तनुष तो ऑब्वियसली गया बिकॉज अश्विन का रिप्लेसमेंट है वो और the way that so when I was talking to this couple of people I know and I asked the same question that you said कि why did Tanush go, so the answer, which is a very logical answer to them, is कि what if one of them would have got injured, तो रिप्लेसमेंट तो आपको भेजना ही है अश्विन का, तो फ्रॉम दैट स्टैंड पॉइंट इट्स लाइक टू लाइक रिप्लेसमेंट, अगर अश्विन भी होता वहां पे, अगर कोई भी इंजर्ड होता तो यू विल नीड दैट बैकअप एंड द अदर थिंग इज कि फॉर पीपल लाइक तनुष इट्स अ वेरी गुड on the ground experience, so I think that is also something that the BCCI is very strongly focusing on today, where they are bringing these youngsters into the ground, into the field, because according to them that also is a kind of a match practice for them, so that was one of the reasons why Tanush is gone. But like I said, I was the biggest advocate of Nitish Reddy, no doubt about it. But typically, what has happened is that the wicket is being made in such a way, क्योंकि उधर से लायन खेल रहा है, and he has a history. So there is definitely going to be spin in the wicket after a few days. So they will not put too much of grass also on the wicket. And that is why as the wicket fades away, the spinners will come into the play. And that is which is the only reason why I picked up Washington Sundar again instead of Nitish Reddy. If you ask me, I love that. I love Nitish, and I definitely want to see him playing. But because of these news that was coming in and what I heard a little bit and from the way things were, that's why I was predicting Washington Sundar. I would love to be proven wrong, but let's see. That's my submission. Rajiv.
Actually, I want Washington in the team basically because one of the things is Melbourne में जो भी हो जाए, घास रखो मत रखो जो भी है, one of the thing is Melbourne is one of the hottest cities in the country.
40 degrees.
या
To touch.
सो
41.
जो भी घास है, जो भी अगर आप एक रोलर यूज करोगे ना, वो इतना नहीं कर पाएगा, मतलब एक लेवल पे जाके छूट जाएगा, and hence batting will become easier only at some point of time, which means that you need to bowl more overs, which means that you need to play Washington Sundar. So that's why I want Washington Sundar in the team, but I don't know, I mean it's a tough call to take. अच्छा है कि हमें कॉल नहीं लेना, कोई और लेगा हमारे लिए। तो भास्कर, मैं आपके पास
एक
आता हूँ।
जोक एक जोक एक जोक बताऊं क्या, भास्कर के पहले जाने से पहले काफी जोक आया पे, मतलब आई वाज जस्ट नॉट एबल टू कंट्रोल माय लाफ्टर। तो उसमें जोक में लिखा है कि विराट कोहली को अगर हाथ बांध के पिच पे खड़ा कर दिया तो ऑस्ट्रेलियन बॉलर्स विल टेक मोर लॉन्गर टाइम टू बॉल ऑन द विकेट्स देन ही गेटिंग आउट। वो कह रहे कि यू नो I really want Virat to break these cycles here. Seriously. Anyway, over to Bhaskar. I just couldn't help sharing the joke. That's why.
भास्कर is one of the
Good one.
biggest proponent of विराट कोहली। आप बताएं, विराट कोहली, can he do a magic in Melbourne? He's done that. I mean, you can't forget what he did in 2014 and जो innings खेला उसने मेलबर्न में.
See,
He bossed the
please.
match.
See, Virat Kohli still walks into the team because the kind of team we have. We've not found replacements forget Pujara and Rahane. How are we going to replace Virat? Okay, so only when there are five better batsmen than Virat goes out on merit, isn't it? So right now we still need Virat. I don't have a problem if Rohit is phased out. But Virat, we need to make sure that he hangs on for a couple of more years. Like Jadeja, also we have to make sure that he hangs on for the next home season. Without Ashwin, I think at least Jadeja needs to be there. So I think Virat can do it. He has scored 100 in the first Test match, so that means he can still play. It's not like he's totally off color. It's just his eyesight and what the problem Sehwag pointed out. I think if he is able to get to a 25-30 kind of a score, I'm sure a reasonably a big one is due. I'm not saying he's going to score a double hundred or 180 the way he used to score maybe 8-9 years back, but I'm sure he can still score those good 70s and 80s and maybe the odd 100. Rajiv.
नहीं नहीं 100 चाहिए भास्कर, आप ऐसा मत करो. Anyway, so one thing which I wanted to ask you, Bhaskar, I'll go to Abhijit also, is that ट्रैविस हेड को कैसे आउट करें? वो तो बताओ, कुछ तो बताओ. ट्रैविस हेड को आउट कैसे
Travis,
करें?
Travis Head, you need to probably come up with a plan, maybe something like a leg theory or something like that. And you just keep bowling the same delivery. वो कितना भी frustrate हुआ चलेगा, कितना भी छोटा चलेगा, you just bowl that ball. Make sure that he's not able to score too many runs, and just keep bowling that. And you keep attacking the other player. I'm sure he will try to go for it, and maybe he gives us a chance. But don't give easy runs to him. You have to come up with a plan and make sure that you don't give him any runs. Maybe
Yeah.
come round the wicket, keep bowling bounces where he has to hook, and you have a couple of fine legs but just stick to the plan. Bowl the same ball, ball after ball. Make sure you don't give him too many runs. Don't allow him to go at maybe a 6 and over. Keep him at like 3 and over, 2 and over. And that's the way I think we need to look at it. And then if he gives us a chance, well and good, or else keep attacking the other side. But don't allow him to get away with a breezy start. Rajiv.
Right. So I have around 6.5 minutes left out. So Abhijit, so I'll pick you and then I'm going for Champions Trophy. I want to ask a couple of, थोड़ा I'll finger Mr. Amit Ranade वहाँ पे. But I want to ask you कि do you really think bowling will that be a problem for India looking at the resources we have? I mean ऐसा ना होना चाहिए कि हम एक wrong team को खिलाएं. India
नहीं,
has
as of now,
yeah, sorry.
as of now तो हुआ नहीं है. As of now तो it's, nobody will blame the bowlers either for the New Zealand series or for this series हुआ. And honestly, from 0-3 down after New Zealand, no, none of us would have dreamt to be 1-1 at this stage. 1-1. I mean, no matter how much brave face I do, I didn't know actually क्या होगा, how these 1-1 at this stage is an excellent place to be. I totally agree with you. Washington Sundar should play, and that's where I was disappointed when Ashwin resigned because you know they have Australia's best batsmen, in-form batsmen are Travis Head and Alex Carey. So, there are two major lefties, and so we needed an off spinner. I hope Washington is picked. I also, by the way, Travis Head doesn't have great averages in Melbourne. But the Dream 11 bana to I have to go through these data. Smith has stupendous average in Melbourne. Travis Head has a middling sort of average. So yeah, we have a good bowling head. One point on the Virat Kohli and one on Tanush Kotian. I'll just extend another joke जो अमित ने बोला अभी. बहुत सारे जोक्स है कि भाई विराट, आप 10 साल के लिए बटर चिकन छोड़ सकते हो, आप 10 साल के लिए फिफ्थ स्टंप वाले बॉल को नहीं छोड़ सकते हो.
Good one.
And the Tanush Kotian, one thing, it's remarkable is that Akshar Patel wasn't called, Kuldeep Yadav wasn't called, Varun Chakravarti wasn't called, Ravi Bishnoi wasn't called, Sai Kishore wasn't called. All these people have played for India at some level. Tanush Kotian has been called. So it is very clear the Agarkars or the Gambhirs, they have something in mind. Either both or one of them have something in mind as a future team. So he's been called with a purpose. So we need to look into him.
Hey,
Rajiv.
No, like Rajiv, what Abhijit is saying, this is exactly what I got to know when I was talking to some my contact there, that the BCCI and the coaching team is very clear about giving this aura experience to them, the environmental experience. It's a new thing, but I think it makes sense because
it makes sense.
there is some science behind it. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I
नहीं
agree.
and the players who perform well in Duleep Trophy, and I think मानव का नाम लिया था भास्कर ने, he also will have his time because ये जो दुलीप ट्रॉफी हुआ था, it was one of the most competitive domestic tournaments we had for a very very long time. It was really मतलब बहुत ज़्यादा competition था उसमें. So yeah, I think it's a good call. I really like the call. चलिए सर, हमारे पास कुछ 3 मिनट तक बाकी हैं. So लास्ट में मैं आपके पास आ रहा हूँ अमित, आप बस चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का बोलिए. एक नया ड्रामा स्टार्ट हुआ है. अभी क्या है, न्यूज में आ रहा है कि ना गद्दाफी स्टेडियम ना रावलपिंडी, मतलब ये दो तीन स्टेडियम हैं जो मतलब दे आर नॉट रेडी एट ऑल। अब ये कह रहे हैं कि वो होस्ट करने लायक ही नहीं है करके। अब आप
नहीं नहीं
बताइए क्या।
राजीव, देखिए, नहीं नहीं राजीव, अब राजीव, जब यूएस में जब जिस स्टेडियम पे इंडिया और पाकिस्तान मैच खेला है, वो 11 दिन डिलीवर हुआ। लेट्स बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट अबाउट सम डेटा एंड फैक्ट हियर। नाउ ऑब्वियसली देखो, वन थिंग वी हैव टू एक्सेप्ट द फैक्ट दैट the Indian media will never keep quiet. They are also like the Pakistani media only. Let's be honest. Although the Indian media has an upper hand purely because we have been dominating and bossing them, but the fact of the matter is the work is still going on, and they have three stadiums. The only challenge that we see with Pakistan is around Qatafi Stadium. There have been some protests going on. And their only worry and their only concern right now is not about the completion of stadium. If something erupts in between now and the Champions Trophy, then it is Pakistan, and that is the only one place where I see a challenge there. Otherwise, completion of stadiums will not be a problem. The stadiums will be completed, and they should be able to host it. There, I don't see a challenge in that.
कुछ तो मसाला दीजिए, कुछ तो हंसने के लिए।
तो मसाला मसाला ये है, मसाला ये आपको देता हूँ वेरी क्लियरली कि वन थिंग इज वेरी क्लियर कि 2026 का जो वर्ल्ड कप है, उसके लिए इंडिया हैज रिफ्यूज टू गिव एनीथिंग इन राइटिंग. The only thing that Pakistan is currently banking on is the written minutes of the meeting, which will not hold good in any court of the law. And India has refused to give it in writing, which means that India is going to play its cards again in 2026. That's a confirmed news for you.
या आई थिंक सो। मतलब आपने उस दिन भी सबको बताया कि ब्रॉडकास्टर का खेल खेलेगा वो, तो फिर ठीक है मतलब।
नहीं, पर वो हो गया कंफर्म. दैट इज आउट नाउ. They haven't officially announced it, but the information is confirmed. They have not given anything right.
राइट राइट राइट, चलिए सही है। सो लास्ट वर्ड्स, आई एम एवरीबडी, आई मीन वन वन थिंग, इंडिया बैट
Winning.
फर्स्ट। नहीं, विनिंग तो हम सारे ही कहेंगे, वो मेरे को इंडिया बैट फर्स्ट, टॉस जीते तो बैट फर्स्ट और बॉल फर्स्ट।
Bat first.
Absolute bat first.
Bat first and win the match. I think that's the way it should go. Yeah. So thank you guys, thank you for coming and joining. Really, really interesting insights. So we'll see, and इस बार हमें थोड़ा सा जल्दी उठना है। मेलबर्न मतलब 5 बजे है, तो we will wake up on Boxing Day बॉक्स करने के लिए। चलिए,
एक
राइट,
फील
थैंक।
फील भी तो आना चाहिए ना. वो फील भी तो आना चाहिए. वो फील तो चला ही गया इतने सालों से, पता ही नहीं चल रहा है.
सही
और
बात है,
5 बजे उठने का फील चाहिए अब.
सही बात
Yeah.
है,
Absolutely.
राइट। चलो, ऑल द बेस्ट,
चलो,
थैंक
see
यू,
you.
टेक केयर,
All the
बाय
best. All the
बाय
best. Thank you.
बाय।